Look down at Manhattan, and you'll see a dense, chaotic forest. Heavy stone structures sit right next to sleek towers of reflective glass. It raises an obvious question. How exactly did a remote, practical trading post on the edge of the Atlantic turn into the heaviest concentration of skyscrapers on Earth? The answer lies in the materials themselves. From early wood and brick to modern steel and glass, a distinct pattern begins to form. Each new building material maps perfectly to a specific phase of the city's economic growth, allowing us to read the skyline like a physical record of human ambition. In the 1600s, New Amsterdam was built for survival and commerce. The layout was horizontal and highly organized. Early builders relied on traditional brick and stone. Because masonry walls carry the entire weight to the ground, buildings naturally hit a strict height limit. Taller walls simply crush. By the late 19th century, this became a severe economic problem. Millions of immigrants poured into a geographically isolated island. With the population exploding and land prices skyrocketing, there was simply nowhere left to build. Engineers abandoned load-bearing stone and introduced internal skeletons made of rigid steel. This transferred the weight safely down to the bedrock, allowing builders to push upward. In 1902, the Flatiron Building proved exactly what this new method could achieve. It pushed 22 stories above the street, completely ignoring the old rules of masonry. The initial shift to vertical building began purely as a mathematical necessity to extract maximum value from finite land. As the city entered the 1920s, the math changed. The United States emerged as a dominant global economy, and enormous wealth concentrated right on Wall Street. With vast capital available, extreme height took on a new purpose. Corporations began using these massive steel structures as status symbols to project their wealth to the rest of the world. The visual language of this wealth was Art Deco. Architects began crowning their skyscrapers with sharp geometric patterns, bold vertical lines, and luxurious ornamentation. This competitive building boom peaked with the Empire State Building. The raw scale of the steel required to reach 102 stories pushed the limits of modern engineering. When completed in 1931, it captured global attention and cemented New York as the center of modern innovation. These massive Art Deco buildings stood as towering symbols of power, innovation, and global economic growth. After World War II, the city's identity matured. The aggressive competition of the 20s gave way to the established, streamlined operations of global conglomerates. With that came a demand for strict efficiency. Elaborate, expensive stone carvings were stripped away completely. Developers embraced severe, minimalist designs. Internal floor plans were standardized, and the exteriors were wrapped in simple, cost-effective sheets of flat glass. The ultimate expression of this era arrived in the 1970s with the original World Trade Center. They were two colossal, unadorned columns designed purely to maximize office space and economic output. The post-war skyline deliberately traded individual artistic personality for overwhelming scale and streamlined global efficiency. Today, the demands placed on the city's architecture have evolved once again, requiring structures that can withstand complex modern threats. You can see this synthesis clearly in One World Trade Center. It maintains the sleek aesthetic of the glass era, but wraps it around an ultra-fortified, highly resilient core. It functions simultaneously as a high-yield commercial property and a deliberate physical monument to the city's ability to recover and rebuild.
When you step back and look at the skyline today, you are looking at 4 centuries of survival, economics, and human determination, all standing shoulder to shoulder.